All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been building Murach's tip calculator in this set of videos, and I'm in chapter 2, and I first went on page 43 and created the strings.xml and dimens.xml file, both those files I should say. Then I went on to page 49, set the layout to relative layout, put in the text view, put in the edit text. And now that I'm looking at this, let's see. That's the bill amount, that one, and that one. Then I should have come down here, and this should have said the tip amount. Okay. Got the bill amount, now I'm doing the tip amount. Again, I've got this red squiggly here because it says the % down button is not defined, and it's not because we're about to do that right now. So I'm on the bottom portion of page 50 in the book. All right, button. Again, wrap content for both of these. Now, when we do the second button, it's the first time it's not going to be wrap content for both those. So we're going to give it exact measurements. In fact, I should have here. I'm sorry. These should have both been 45 dp. So 45 density pixels. So we're making them an exact size. Okay, and if you don't know what that means, you will in just a moment. You'll have to take my word for it for now. Oops. So first we're having our decrease or our minus button, which is what we're saying we're doing right there. Now watch something magical that will happen in just a second. Notice here that still is underlined in red. All right, I'm going to try to bring this down, but just a little bit there. Okay, so watch what happens after I put in the ID here. Okay, hopefully you can see that now the squigglies went away because now we've defined the button. Now what we're doing is we're basically doing a bunch of positioning in here. We're telling it where we want this to be positioned. We're going to get another error now because where this was here, % down button, we want it to be to the left of the % up button, and we haven't defined our up button yet, so we're going to get an error on that. Okay, that'll go away in just a moment. And we're going to have this in here twice, so we'll have two errors in here until we fix it in just a moment. Now the next button is very similar to this button, so I'm going to grab all of the code that's here. And again, yes, I do refer to this as code. It's XML, but it's XML code because we're using it as GUI code. All right, 45, 45. This will be our up button. Notice when we put in up, those are going to go away in just a second. If they, oh, they're not yet, but there they gone. They're gone. The underlines. All right. So we want this percent up button. This will be not aligned. This is align top. And that's align top of the percent down button. This is align right. And that's, we want that to the right of the bill amount edit text. And this we want, it's align top, that should be align right. Right. And this is align end. And that should look just like this. And again, 20 SP. All right, hopefully this is going to look a little bit more laid out than it did before. Okay, it's getting there. We've got those two. This still looks a little funky. All right, so something looks wrong there, but notice we've got our minus, and the other one, I think I did a copy. The other one should be a plus sign. Oops. So the text should be increased there. That will give us the, instead of having the two minus buttons, we should now have a minus and a plus. We do. This percent one looks goofed up though, so I gotta look at that. That looks correct, that looks correct. This looks wrong, so something in the percentage here looks wrong. So I want to look at both of these text views here. This is the tip amount with wrap content, layout height, wrap content, text, string tip percent label, ID, percent label, text size 20 SP, text style bold, align bottom, align parent left, align parent start. That looks correct. ID percent down button, that looks correct. True, true. That all looks correct. Let's look at this one. Android width, wrap content, height, wrap content. Text should be string tip percent. ID should be percent text view. Again, let's be complete and consistent here. I'm going to have it basically look the way that it looks in the book. So, all right. Align top, align, shouldn't be align parent left, it should be align left. And this one should be align start, not parent. Okay. ID percent label, ID bill amount edit text, ID bill amount edit text, size of 20 SP. I think it was that parent thing that was goofing it up, so let's take a look. All right, looking much better than it did before. All right, now it's totally not operational, but I can do a file, save all, and I can literally run it right now. Okay, I'll just put it under the emulator that we have. Hopefully that's going to come up. There we go. Our Nexus 1, which is our phone emulator. And we can take a look at that, and it should come up and look. We've got our first 2 rows in there correctly. And we've got 2 more rows to go. Well, that sure didn't come up build, or I think it's still, there we go. It's looking pretty nice right now. We could center this if we wanted to, but now it lines up with the percentage. Okay, so it's actually looking pretty nice right now. All right, so let's go back into our text mode here. And after our 2 buttons, we're going to want to put in again, this is still the tip amount. So we want first a text view here with, again, wrap content for both of these. Sorry. All right. Looks like we have no errors on that. I'll have to go back and double check it later to make sure I didn't make any typographical errors. But, so now we've got that tip. Okay, so again, it's looking pretty nice right now. And I'm going to, although I probably won't want to do this after I've done it, but I'm just going to copy here. Okay, I get that error because I have the same ID twice. So wrap content. This will just be tip amount. The ID here is going to be tip text view. We don't need this. All right. So we want this to be in a line top. And we want the 20 SP, so let me put that back in here. So text view, we want that. We don't want this. So wrap content, tip amount, tip text view. Got this. All right, then we want a layout align top. And we want that to be to all right. And we want in align left. And this should be percent text view. And we want in align start. And we want that also to be to percent text view. Again, there's an advantage and a disadvantage to actually writing this in the XML. The advantage of doing it is you've got everything at your disposal. The disadvantage is you're constantly having to flip back and forth the way that we're doing right here. Now you might think that's a good thing, you might think that's a bad thing, depending on your point of view. But this is actually looking very nice. Again, we can do a file, save all, and we can run it again. We'll again use the Nexus 1, T and Nexus. And what's left is our total amount to text views. We'll put that in. So this is looking very nice. So what I'm going to do is come back to here into my text mode, and I'm going to copy this text view. But first, there was a comment here that said the total amount. Okay, and we had two text views here. So I'm going to grab this first one because it's similar to this one, I think. Okay, so layout with wrap. The text will be the total amount label. All right, this will be, I think, total label. Again, 20 SP, again, bold. We want to margin top. They put 14 in here. And for some reason, they've got that as being the last one. Again, I'm just trying to do what they're doing just for completeness sake. Oops. All right, so bold. The below, this here is, we want that below tip label. Align parent left is true. Align parent start is true. And margin top now is 24 dp. but that wasn't that much that we had to put in there, to be honest with you. So, save all. Let's look at it in design mode again. So the only thing we have left to do is this last label. And that's good. Then we're finished with our interface. We have not written a lick of code yet, but we'll be done with our interface. All right, let's go back to text. Again, this is very similar to this one. It's not identical, of course, but it's similar. So I'm going to grab that. Come down to here, paste that in. Wrap content, wrap content. This is total amount. This should be total text view. Again, 20 SP. Top, that'll be total label. The align left will be for the tip text view. And the align start will also be for the tip text view. Do a file, save all. Going to go back to design mode. It's looking really nice. All right, and I'm going to run it again. We'll again use our Nexus 1 emulator. Okay, there it is. Now it's totally non-operational. These have all been hard-coded in here, and the plus and minus button don't do anything. All right, but this is all the work that was in Chapter 2. So as the author says on page 52, we learned how to use Android Studio to develop the user interface. It says, however, if you run it, it displays the interface but doesn't do anything else. That's because we haven't written the Java code. That's the subject of Chapter 3. So I will start on that lecture shortly, and we'll go and we'll put the code in, and then after that we'll go into Chapter 4. We'll do the testing and the debugging. Okay? So that's all I've got for this particular lecture. And I'll pick it up. Let's do one more file, save all, and we'll pick it up again shortly.